Bam, what's goody? Baywood here, and today I'm going to be breaking down Donda and CLB from a creator's standpoint. Now, I've been making music for 5 years, and Kanye and Drake has always been a huge influence on me. What I don't understand is the people comparing the albums sonically, because it's two different genres, it's two whole different vibes, it's two whole different albums. I got into music in the first place because I was inspired by other artists. I was inspired by their shows, their performances, and that was like, I want to do that when I grow up. I want to be on stage. I want to perform my songs that I made on a computer, and that's what got me into it in the first place. When I'm listening to music nowadays, I'm looking for songs that just inspire me to make more music, to get inspired to lay down and think of a whole album concept, get me inspired to come up with cooler cover art or a music video. And that's what it's about. Making music is about making art, creating a story that appeals to other people and relates to other people. If I listen to an album, I'm hoping to get inspired in some way to come out of that with inspiration, wanting to make music specifically for me, or wanting to make a new video or a piece of content. With Donda, I didn't even really understand it at first. I'll be honest. I kind of listened to the first half and was completely like thrown off by it, because I've heard a lot of other people were like, it's not all that. People didn't even know when it was dropping, so it didn't seem like people were too excited. So I listened to it. Boom. I was like, okay. And then I listened to it again, and I listened to the full way through, and I was like, wow. And then I listened to it in a car the full way through, and I completely understood. This is a work of art that's going to last in eternity. People will understand later on. All amazing works of art, they get noticed way later on. And that's always happened with Kanye. We know that College Dropout still bangs today. That's the crazy thing. That was made in 2004. He makes music well beyond his years. I started asking some questions and getting some different inspiration when I was listening to the album. I was like, oh my gosh, I kind of like that he took out the cuss words in this album. Like, they faded him. It was cool because it was left for your own interpretation, but you knew that it was a cuss word, so it was still that impactful, even if they cut him out. I thought that was even more impactful than actually hearing the cuss word itself. So that's something I was like, wow, that is cool. That is cool that it makes your brain like rethink, like, what cuss word was that? Boom. Or you just end up saying a cuss word because it's naturally flowing that way. I think leaving cuss words out of songs is actually really cool, and it inspired me to listen with my family, my aunts and uncles. And I didn't get this weird thing where sometimes, like, even with Drake songs, I didn't want to play around them. I wanted to play with people around my age and younger people. And then there's some things in the mixing that I was like, why? I would never think about doing that. Like, why did he do it like that? Why did he compress his vocals so much? Why is there no vocal effects sometimes? Why is there just saturation on his vocal? Why is his vocal so low? Why are they so loud? And I started asking those questions. I realized by the end of it, he wanted us to ask those questions. It's all about asking questions. And I think the concept that it brought to me is, going to be different for everybody. But just think about it. Like, why does that sound good? And I never heard something like that. Like, I'm telling you, the mixing is a lot of stuff that people wouldn't even ever think about to put out there. Now I'm inspired to get more experimental. Why do I think I understand EQ or audio like this? Like, why can't we flip it on its head and try something else? What's the correct way? Is there a correct way? So now I'm just starting to question everything, and I want to say shout out to Kanye for helping me with that, because I was kind of set in my ways. I was set in my teaching ways of making certain tutorials to teach you the way I knew. Sometimes that's not always helpful. Sometimes we got to teach concepts instead of teaching patterns. Instead of teaching like, hey, here's how you mix a vocal. What is the purpose of vocal mixing? Like, why do we do it in the first place? Is there a right way? Is there a wrong way? I'm here to express on this channel as much as possible. There is no right or wrong way to make music or to create whatever it is you want to create. I got so stuck in my ways of watching tutorials on production, and I never started to flip like, hey, maybe not use a snare on the snare. Why not use a hi-hat right there to replace a snare and a clap? Why do so many over 90% of songs use snares and claps? So it's like rethinking those things. Why do we use kicks? So it's like trying to think about those things that we think are there majority of the time. How do we flip those? And I'm thinking that with everything now, not with just engineering, with production. Certified Lover Boy is an awesome album. It honestly got my ego up. You know, in the gym, it was a lot easier to listen to that kind of stuff. I imagine being at a club. I imagine, you know, trying to impress girls and trying to impress my friends and doing all that. It hit that ego and it gave you that feeling of confidence that you want when you're going out and having fun and, you know, meeting new people. That's what I love about, you know, CLB. Creatively though, it didn't inspire me. It inspired my ego and it inspired me to go out in the weekends, which I don't want to go out in the weekends. I just want to focus on music and, you know, eventually create the parties that people are partying at. Not, you know, wait for the weekend and party this weekend because my ego's up because of Drake songs. Like, it really is. That's all they're going to be playing in the club because it really does make you feel next level. It makes you feel so much, this whole new level of confidence. And I think that's what Drake sells. And I love that. I love that. So I don't even want to compare. I just want to say on a creative standpoint, Donda got me like changing ways about my music and engineering and everything I do in life. Just question it. Why do I think this is right? That's what I'm going to say about it. I'm not going to really compare, but I love the Drake album for pumping up the confidence and pumping up my ego when needed. And I really like Kanye's album for taking my creativity to the next level and rethinking my processes of how I do everything in life. So right now, Donda is super impactful and it's on repeat. I'm just learning so many new things about myself just by asking questions. So let me know down in the comments below which song is your favorite off both albums. We obviously know they're both great albums and they're way higher tier than most stuff out in the market, and that's why they're both at the top. Our goal is to produce just as high as quality, even higher. To whatever that is, you got to go beyond what you think is your limits. If you think you can only produce one certain genre, that's all you're ever going to do. So start questioning this stuff. Start trying and experimenting with different stuff, because with experimentation, there's a lot of failures, and a lot of those failures end up being works of art that are going to change people's lives one day and give people a feeling and a perspective that they never knew about. You might have never found that if you never experimented. So I think with the creativity, it's so much fun to experiment, but I think it's really easy to get sucked into one vibe. There's other people out there experimenting, breaking genres, breaking rules, breaking things that we thought were true. You don't know till you try. So that's all I'm here to say in this video. I know I kind of rambled, but these are fun, I think. If you enjoyed, please smash that like button, comment down below your favorite song from the albums, and hit that subscribe button if you're new here and interested in learning music and mixing process. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
If I call, don't answer. Do me this favor. It'll make things worse for me. If you answer me, giving me fantasies of what this could be. If I call, don't answer. Do me this favor. It'll make things worse for me. If you answer me, giving me fantasies of what this could be.